This week, LLE is in the kitchen. But first, let's get to our trivia question from last week.
Hello, my name is Ethan Wong, and today I'll be telling you a trivia question. This week's trivia question is, who came up with the March proverb saying, in like a lion and out like a lamb? And in what year? Please email your answers to LLE News. The proverb might not have to do with weather after all. The proverb was named after constellations that are known as Leo, lion, and Aries, ram or lamb. The Leo rises in the east and the Aries comes down in the west. The Americans first saw that the proverb took place in Americas as well as England.
Thank you for all your correct answers for this week's trivia. Miss Chabora, Mrs. Riley, Mrs. Hubner, and Hannah from Mrs. Kim's class. You all had correct answers, and the correct answer was Thomas Fuller. He came up with this proverb in the 1600s. March goes in like a lion and out like a lamb is one of his most famous ones.
Hi, happy fall, y'all. So, today I want to be telling you how to make caramel apples. So first, you're going to want some caramel. I would prefer this bag. And you would take it, unwrap it, put it in a small bowl like this, and you have a spatula. And then you would have 1 tablespoon. You would put water in it, pour it in the bowl, warm it up for 2 minutes, and then have any kind of sprinkles that you want. And you would want these popsicle sticks and an apple, of course. And then when it's all warmed up, it starts to cool off right away and it gets harder. Put it back in the microwave for 10 seconds and then take it back out. So then take your apple, put it on a stick, put it in here, and take your spatula and spin the apple around in it and pour the spatula on it. When it's all covered, take your apple and put it on a paper plate. Well, don't put it on a paper plate, but take it and spin it in the sprinkles. And then, once you have that done, set it down and let it dry. And then when that's done, you can eat.
Bye everyone, this is Kelly Holy from Philly Emerson School. Today I am here with my dad, Peter, which is the chef. Would you like anything to say?
Yes, thank you for having me, Miss Caroline. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Number 1, what got you most interested in cooking?
Well, that's a really good question. What got me most interested in cooking was the fact that when I was a young boy, I started making omelets with my mom in her kitchen. And the more I helped my parent, the more into cooking I got.
Very interesting. Question 2, how many years have you been cooking?
Oh my God, that's another good question. I've been cooking a long time, about 30 years in total. That's a long time, right?
Yes. Question number 3, did you go to culinary school?
I did. I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York.
Very interesting. 5, what are you making today?
Today, I am making fingerling potatoes with rosemary, grilled eggplant, and this is really something special. This is a sous vide ribeye steak that we're going to cook on the grill, and mushrooms for family dinner tonight. What do you think about that?
Very, very interesting. And last question. And my last question is, what is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job is that I get to feed students all over the country, because that's what I do now, is I'm the president of culinary for school food across the United States. So I get to feed children just like you every single day.
Very interesting. Would you like to explain anything else?
No, I think that's about it. I really love cooking. I know you do, and I hope everyone at home enjoys as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Show, and today I'll show you how to make pigs in a blanket. The ingredients I use are croissant rolls and hot dogs. Before prepping, you need to preset the oven to 375 degrees. Before you start, you also need a baking sheet. Next, you start unwrapping the dough for the blanket. You have to be very careful that the dough doesn't rip. Like that. Separating the dough into the blanket shape. Make sure you wash your hands before touching the dough. Start separating the dough into the blanket pieces. Make sure you separate them so it's a long triangle. Also, make sure to wash your hands before touching the dough. Now take your hot dog and cut it in half so it can fit the blanket. Now you take your blanket and put it on the board. Then you take your hot dog and put it at the end. And you wrap it up like a blanket. Like this. When you're all done wrapping your hot dogs in your blankets, put it on the baking sheet. Now we are all ready to put them in the oven. Make sure you ask your mom or dad to put them in the oven because they are very hot. After you put them in the oven, make sure to put the timer at 10 minutes. When you're done, you can finally enjoy this delicious snack.
Hello, and today I'll be showing you how to make kimbap. Kimbap is a Korean dish that you make with dried seaweed and rice. And you can put anything inside it. But today we're putting in tuna, cheese, kimchi, ham, and eggs. So first we're gonna mix the soy sauce and the salt. And then we mix it together. First, you take 2 slices of ham for ham, fold them, and then slice them. Now, we take the eggs, fold them in half, and then cut them into slices. Now you take the cheese and then strip them into slices. And then you mix the mayonnaise and the tuna. First, we put the roller down. Then you put the dried seaweed, and then put in the rice. Spread it out. And make sure to do it on only one side. And then we put slices of egg on the rice, and we also put ham. And then put the tuna mixed with the mayonnaise. Try and spread it out. And then put in soy sauce. And then you roll it up. Oh yeah, and sorry, put in the cheese too. And then you roll it up. And that's how you make kimbap. Let me try. Enjoy!
Hi, my name's Olivia Shealy and I'm reporting live from Demorest, New Jersey. Today is a Monday, September 28th, and you're probably wondering why I'm not in school. Well, today is a very important Jewish holiday called Yom Kippur. I'm going to tell you a few facts about the holiday, and then I'll demonstrate how to make a delicious traditional recipe called kamish bread, which is a Jewish cookie. Yom Kippur is known as the Day of Atonement. It lasts 25 hours. During this period, Jews ask God to forgive them for all their sins. People fast on this day, and some go to synagogue. Even though people can't eat, Yom Kippur is still a happy holiday because it's about forgiveness and improving your behavior. At the end of the day, we break the fast and eat a ton of food and yummy desserts. Talking about food makes me so hungry. Let's get baking. These are some of the ingredients that we will be using: chocolate chips, baking powder, sugar, vanilla, salt, cinnamon, and flour, and a big mixer. Next, in a medium bowl, whisk together flour, baking powder, salt, and cinnamon. Then, in an electric mixer, combine butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla extract. Then add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. Then in the electric mixer, mix the wet ingredients. Then you're going to add some of the dry ingredients. Once it looks like the dough is formed, next you're going to add my favorite part, the chocolate chips. It calls for 1 cup, but I like to add a little extra. Don't tell anybody. 1 cup and a little more. Yeah, it looks so good, but here comes the tricky part. You have to wait 1 hour because you have to put the dough into the refrigerator. But if you want to speed it up, put it in the freezer. Yum. Now let's put it in the freezer because I want to speed it up. Once the dough is finished being in the fridge or freezer, you're going to have to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Then you're going to shape your dough into long logs like I did. And then you're going to take the dough and put it into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. See you later, yummy cookies. After the cookies finish baking and cooling, you're going to take them out of the oven. You're going to slice them and sprinkle some cinnamon and sugar on it. But believe it or not, you are going to have to, once you finish slicing them and putting sprinkling cinnamon sugar on it, you're going to have to put them back in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. So I'd rather do this fast. Finally, I'm finished. You're going to have to lower your oven to 250 degrees. Once you finish cutting them, you're going to sprinkle some cinnamon sugar on them. Toss me, it's worth every step because these are the most delicious things I ever had. Back in the oven you go. Finally, they're done. Whether you celebrate the holidays or not, I know you can make these cookies anytime you want, and I know you'll love them just like me. Now this was Olivia Shealy, from my kitchen to yours. Now back to the studio.
Hi, my name is Waverly Greenberg and I'm reporting for LLE News. This summer, my family and I got a fire pit because we've been spending a lot more of our time outdoors. I've been making a lot of s'mores with family and friends. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a perfect s'more. Let's start by going over what you will need to make a perfect s'more. First, you will need a stick. It should be long, because you don't need to get too close to the fire. Next, you should get a bag of marshmallows, which mine are in there. Then you should have some Hershey's chocolate next to you, milk. Then you should have some graham crackers. When you're all ready, you should get 2 marshmallows, or 1. I prefer 2 though. 1 second. Okay, now you can make your marshmallow burnt or golden brown, but I prefer burnt because it has a better taste. My fire burns very fast, and that's what I like. When your marshmallow is all burnt or golden brown, whatever you like, you can get ready and get your chocolate and graham cracker. When you're done, you should have this. Now eat your delicious s'more, and I hope you enjoy eating this outdoors like I do. Yes, everyone's invited to come make s'mores with me. Bye!
Hi, today we're making mashed potatoes. The first step is you have to peel the potatoes like this. Make sure you don't cut yourself, and an adult is supervising you. It can be really tricky. Ta-da! And here are my peeled potatoes. The next step is you have to cut the potatoes. So you take one out and you simply just cut it.
That's a good size.
And keep cutting it, but a parent has to supervise you on this one too, because you could cut your finger off. I wouldn't like that, or you wouldn't either. So it's hard to cut. And keep cutting until you're done with it, and then go on to the next potato. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Ta-da! I cut all the potatoes. Make sure you have a salted hot water on the stove. Make sure not to burn yourself. Hi. Now get a spoon or a spoon and lower the pan and dump your potatoes in. Now just carefully put it in. And now we're all done. And make sure to put it higher. Make sure to watch it so it doesn't boil over. Oh, make sure not to burn yourself. Now take a spoon and simply stir it. Make sure not to burn yourself. It's really hot. Now let it boil. When about 15 minutes pass, you take your spoon and nut up. You lower the heat. And test like this. You grab
grab your spoon and take your fork and you fork it. If it goes in smoothly, then it's done. If it doesn't, then you're not done. Well, I think my potatoes are done. Turn off your burner because they're done. The next step is to take your spoon and simply take your potatoes and dump them in the bowl you had when you were peeling them. And just do that. Make sure not to burn yourself again because they are very hot. After you're done draining it, add 1 cup of milk and a tablespoon of butter. When you're adding the milk, be careful because it could splash all over. What I just did there. Now add the tablespoon of butter. Then take your masher and mash. It is very soft, so make sure don't mash it too hard. Because if you mash it too hard, then it could the milk could get out. And make sure don't pick your thing up in there because then milk would get all over it. Mix it with a spoon and keep mashing like this. Now we need salt. You have to put 1/2 of salt, but I have a quarter, so I have to put 2. Now, mix. Get the spoon you were working with and mix it. Very good. And get a little spoon to taste.